The world outside the tinted windows of the black Mercedes-Benz was nothing more than a blur. Gray buildings, rushing people, and dusty roads slipping past like an old film strip. Inside the luxury car, silence reigned. The seats were stitched with imported leather. The air carried a faint scent of expensive cologne, and a sleek digital screen displayed stock market tickers rolling up and down like restless waves. If this moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Sunrise TV for more heartfelt stories. Arman Mirza, one of the wealthiest businessmen in the city, sat with his usual cold expression, a mixture of pride and distance. His tailored navy suit seemed untouched by the chaos outside. His perfectly polished shoes gleamed in the filtered sunlight. Even the gold pen clipped to his coat pocket hinted at success. But none of that brought warmth to his eyes. For Arman, the world was divided into two groups, those who succeed and those who complain. And he was determined never to fall into the second category. He believed money solved everything. Respect, power, comfort, everything had a price. Except perhaps happiness. But he was too busy to care. His driver, Salim, navigated the bustling Karachi traffic with practiced ease. "Sir, should I take the route from Sadar or the flyover?" Salim asked politely. Arman didn't look up from his phone. "Whichever is faster." Salim nodded and took a turn near the crowded Sadar market. Outside, where colors and chaos danced together, life was very different. Vendors shouted, donkey carts moved slowly, rickshaws zigzagged with near-death confidence, and children ran barefoot on the hot footpaths, weaving through crowds like small shadows. Arman barely noticed any of it. He was scanning a business proposal when the car suddenly slowed down. The road was choked with people. The Friday rush had begun. As the car stalled in a long queue of vehicles, something unexpected happened. A faint tapping came from outside Arman's window. At first, he ignored it. Tap, tap, tap. A small hand pressed against the glass. Arman looked up, annoyed. A little girl stood there, maybe 7, maybe 8. Her hair was messy, her clothes were torn, her little feet were covered in dust. But her eyes were large, soft, and shining with something he could not quite name. Arman sighed, irritated. He hated being disturbed, especially by beggars. He rolled down the window halfway. "I don't give money on the street," he said sharply. "Go ask someone else." Her eyes didn't blink. She didn't step back. She didn't even look disappointed. Instead, she asked him something so small, so unexpected, that it felt like a stone thrown straight at his chest. "Aap itne ameer hokar bhi kis se pooch kar khana khate ho?" You are so rich. Who do you ask for food? Armand froze. The question hung in the air like smoke, soft, innocent, and piercing. For the first time in a long time, he didn't have an answer. The girl wasn't being rude. She wasn't even begging anymore. Her little face was full of genuine curiosity, as if she really wanted to understand how the world worked. Who do rich people ask? Armand stared at her, really stared this time. Her cheeks were thin. Her arms were too small. Her lips were cracked. Hunger sat on her like a shadow. Salim glanced into the mirror. "Sir, should I?" "No," Armand said quietly, raising a hand. There was a strange tightness in his chest, unfamiliar and unsettling. "Little girl," he said, clearing his throat, "where are your parents?" The girl pointed toward a footpath where a woman sat with 2 small children and a stack of unsold tissue packets. The woman looked tired, defeated, like life had drained every color from her. Armand looked back at the girl. "What's your name?" "Zoya," she replied. Simple, pure, Zoya. Something inside him softened. Without thinking, he opened the door and stepped out, something he rarely did in crowded places. People looked at the expensive man stepping out of an expensive car. Whispers rose in the air. But Armand didn't care. He walked with Zoya to the footpath. Her mother stood up, startled. "Assalamu alaikum, Baba," she said nervously. "Please forgive her if she disturbed you." Armand shook his head slowly. "No, she didn't disturb me. She asked me something important." The woman blinked in confusion. "How long have you three been here?" he asked. "We come every day," she replied. "My husband died 2 years ago. I try selling tissues, but most days we don't sell even 5. The younger children looked up at Armand with shy curiosity. One clutched his stomach. Something inside Armand cracked, something he didn't even know existed. Without another word, he turned to Salim. "Take the car, bring food, a lot of it, from the restaurant at the end of the street. Fresh, hot." The mother's eyes widened. "Baba, you don't have to." "I know," Armand said, his voice softer than he intended, "but I want to." When Salim returned, they laid out boxes of biryani, naan, curry, and cold drinks. Zoya and her siblings ate as if they hadn't tasted food in days. Watching them, Armand felt a heaviness in his throat. The mother wiped her eyes with the edge of her dupatta. "Allah aapko izzat de sahib." But Armand wasn't listening. He was thinking. Of the meals he ate without tasting, of the houses he built but never lived in, of the money he counted but never used for anything meaningful, of the people he passed every day without seeing. A strange shame washed over him. He knelt down beside Zoya. "Why did you ask me that question?" Zoya paused between bites. "Because I thought rich people get everything easily. I thought someone must be giving you food too. But then I saw that maybe you don't smile. Maybe you also feel alone." Armand's heart clenched. A child had seen something no one else had ever dared to look for. "Do you think I look alone?" he whispered. Zoya nodded gently. "Huh, bahut." He closed his eyes. She was right. He was alone, surrounded by wealth, success, status, but deeply, painfully alone. When he opened his eyes again, something inside him had shifted. He reached into his pocket, took out his wallet, then stopped. Money wasn't enough. It was temporary, like wiping water from a stone. He looked at the mother. "Do you want to work?" The woman stared at him, startled. "Work?" "Yes, a real job, one that earns enough for food, school, and safety." Her lips trembled. "Sir, is that even possible?" "Yes," Armand said firmly. "I'll arrange it. You will work at my office, cleaning staff, full salary, full benefits, and the children will start school." The mother burst into tears, sinking to her knees. "Sahib, Allah aapko." Armand rushed forward and gently lifted her up. "No, no, don't thank me. Thank your daughter. She taught me something today." Zoya looked confused. "Me?" "Yes." Armand smiled softly, something he hadn't done in years. "You." At that moment, something warm bloomed in his chest. Not pride, not pity, but purpose. Within a week, the mother, whose name was Samina, started working at Armand's corporate headquarters. She worked hard, and everyone respected her. Zoya and her siblings were enrolled in a nearby school. Clean uniforms, books, lunchboxes, and school bags full of hope. But something even bigger happened. Every day after work, Armand drove to different neighborhoods around the city. He visited footpaths, underpasses, construction sites, anywhere he saw a shadow of struggle. He didn't go with cameras or reporters. He didn't start a charity foundation with his name carved on a marble wall. He went quietly. He listened. He helped. Not just with money, but with opportunities, connections, jobs, education, medical help. For the first time in his life, he slept peacefully. One night, after returning home from a long day, he stood on his balcony overlooking the city lights. The wind brushed against his face. The air tasted different. He thought of Zoya's tiny voice. "Aap itne ameer hokar bhi kisse pooch kar khana khate ho?" Who do you ask? No one. Because true wealth isn't about asking food. It's about giving it. He smiled. A real smile. Months passed. Zoya grew healthier, happier, stronger. She did well in school. She laughed more. She learned to dream. One day, she came running to Armand's office with her school report card. "Uncle, Dakin."